Hi, I wanted to add a little context here. When I travel to the other side of the world, I've often had people ask me, like, well, where is Borneo? And I had to look it up on the map myself before I went. So this video will give you some overview of where I think I'm going. And as my plans adjust, I'll be updating on my travel blog. So thanks for traveling along.
Hi, this is Larry. It's been a while since I put together a map like this, and it's been a full day of refiguring out how to do this. So I just want to give you an overview of my upcoming trip. So obviously starting in Denver, and then I fly to San Francisco, where I've got a short couple of hour layover. And then from San Francisco, I have my 18-hour flight to Singapore. And I got fortunate once I get to Singapore, I have another short connection before I head to Kuala Lumpur. So when I fly to that part of the world, I have three hub airports that I shop for. My favorite is Kuala Lumpur, and it normally has the best connections, depending. And what I like about it, this is the downtown Kuala Lumpur area where I stay. So I'm staying toward the left-hand side of this image. Right there, you might see a place called Pasar Seni by the red roof. So I'm really close to downtown. I'm close to Chinatown. I'm close to Little India. I'm close to the Chinese medical clinic. I'm going to zoom around here and look the other direction. And that's where the central train station, metro station is. And then on down the road there on the left-hand side is where called the brick fields. That's just some amazing Indian food. So when I leave here, I'm going to Padang, which is in Western Sumatra. And initially, I thought it was just a necessary stop because of the flight connections. I had to get to Western Sumatra somehow. But since I've been reading about some really beautiful locations down here on the coast, so I found a homestay where I'm going to go hang out. It's kind of a community-sponsored homestay, so I'll get to be a part of a community for a couple days. Water, palm trees, hammocks, and relaxation. So after my 30 plus hours of travel and 15-hour time change, seems like a good idea for a place to go. When I leave here, I'm heading up to Bukit Now, Bukit I've heard about when I was talking to a man here in Longmont and telling him I just love Bali because it was some of the friendliest people on the planet. And his wife is from Bali, and he has a small tour company. And he said there is one other. And that's when he mentioned Bukit Tinggi. So Bukit Tinggi is a matriarchal Islamic culture. So essentially the women are in charge. The name passes from mother to daughter. And the property passes through the women's side of the family. So I'm going there for food and culture and to hike this canyon and explore and just, kind of immerse myself. I never heard of a matrilineal Islamic society. From there, I go back to Padang and then I'm flying up here to Medan. The airport down below, this is the northern Sumatra. You can see the mountain ridge in the background. And from here, it's probably a 4 or 5 hour trip to get to Bukit Lawang. And that is in the edge of the national forest, Gunung Lesur National Park. So I am going here to look for wild orangutan. Saw a gibbon, tons of monkeys, birds, listened to a clouded leopard hunting when I was there before, which was just a stunning experience. And just over the hill is a place where I might be able to see the Sumatran elephant. And then from here, I'm heading north, going way up into Chiang Mai. So I go back to Medan and fly up to Chiang Mai in northern Thailand. And I'm staying close to the historical center where the square is. That's the old moat around the center part of town. And there are places there that I haven't seen, but also I love going to a cooking school there. So I'm going to take a couple of cooking classes and look for some adventures. And then when I leave here, I'll be traveling up toward the Laotian border, staying in the Thai side in a little village called Cheng Kong. And I read about a resort right here on the shore of the Mekong River. And it's like $13 a night for rooms with swimming pool. So after hiking and trekking, I'm going to head into here and relax for a couple of days before I head into the forest. when I leave here, I just basically cross the river and go to Wei Shai. And Wei Shai is on the Laotian side, so I go over the Friendship Bridge, go through customs and immigration, and then I get into the village. And this is where I discovered the gibbon experience the first time I came through here years ago. From here, I'm going up to the very northwest part of Laos to a village called Muan Sing. And Muan Sing, I've met some people who said this is the primary reason they come to Laos. And so what Muan Sing is it's in the northwest province. It's close to Yunnan province in China. It's the Golden Triangle area where they butt up against Myanmar as well. And this village is in Laos, but it is not necessarily a Lao culture. It's a hill tribe culture. So there's multiple hill tribes that live in the area. So I'm just fascinated by the culture, the tradition, the clothing, the language, the food. And so I'm going to be going up there. And then after I go to Muan Sing, then I'm heading where I was before in Luang Nantha. It's just over the hill, not too far away. But Luang Nantha is another kind of trekking area where people come in. You can see from the hills and stuff. There's kayaking trips and trekking and hiking and hill tribe visits and all that sort of thing. So I'm going to go there for a little bit. And then I head back to Wei Shai and overnight there before the next morning, I will take a cruise on a riverboat. It's not what we would call a riverboat, but it's a boat that travels on the river. And I love traveling by boat. And it's a 2-day journey downriver to get to Luang Prabang. So from here, we have an overnight stop in a little place called Pak Bing. And it's just to give you a sense of the kind of scenery I'm going to be seeing along the river. And so I'll be stopping here before I go to Luang Prabang. Luang Prabang is one of my favorite towns in that part of the world. Favorite cities. And so it's right on the Mekong River. It's very peaceful. The last time I was there, I didn't know that it was Chinese New Year. And it was absolutely packed and overrun. It took me 3 hours to find a hotel room. And so this time, I've made sure that I'm not competing with that. And when I'm here, I'll be able to rent a bicycle and go exploring. There's lots of waterfalls, parks in the area. I can take a boat, cross the river, or go to the other side of the river and go exploring. And apparently, that's not something that's very common. So there's like organic farms, and essentially, I'm going to stay here and rest and eat and explore and just have a good time. From here, I'm going to wind up going to Nong Kiao, which is a sort of newly discovered area. I'm kind of zooming into it this way so you can see what it's looking like. And it's gotten really popular. So I want to go there before it gets overrun. And then from there, I'll head back to Luang Prabang and go into Phan Savan. And Phan Savan is the home of the Plain of the Jars. And there's a number of those in the area. And there's really no agreement on what they were all about. Some people think they were burial tombs, and others were like ceremonial stuff. So from there, I'll head back to either Vang Ving or to Luang Prabang, and then go down to, when I get to Vang Ving, this used to be kind of a drunken river party town. So, they still do a lot of tubing on the river. But what I'm finding there is they have floating bungalows down the Nam Song River. So I'll be going to look for those. And this is not showing that accurately, but Vang Ving is an interesting town. I want to get out of the town and explore. That's going to be my priority. And then after that, I'll head to the capital, Vientiane. And I've been there before, but I didn't spend a lot of time. It was basically a stopover when I was heading south on a bus. So this time, I'm going to go down to the central part of town, and I'll stay right here in the historic area closer to the river, be there for a couple of days. And this is my departure city. So from here, I'm flying on to Bali. So
Suddenly
I'm
lost the voice there, so I'm re-recording it. I'm heading to Bali. I'm going to see my friends in Bali, visit the healers, get my body tuned up, make sure everything's healthy and in good shape.
And then I've learned in the past to spend some time on the beach and just relax and swim and charge up and refresh before my journey back to the States. Coming back this way, I just have more of an issue with jet lag, and it takes me a little bit longer to recover. So there's the overview. So be happy to have you traveling along with me. Ciao.